What's up, guys? Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning into the channel. It is such a beautiful day here in the DFW. I just wanted to show you guys, walk out here. Absolutely beautiful. It's not even that cold. It's a perfect riding day. So hopefully you guys are out there riding and you can watch this after you get back. So before we get started, I just wanted to remind you we do have the titled frame and subframe that we're going to be giving away. It's $50 to enter that raffle. There's only 4 spots left. It's going to be drawn. The other thing is, don't forget, we do have the Grom rims, the carbon fiber Grom rims. Get you guys, get your friends to subscribe with the Grom. We do want somebody here locally to win that, so come on, get it together. 2,500 subscribers, $2,500 in Grom rims. That's what we're doing. It's absolutely wonderful. This video is about Barber. We do want to get straight into it, so let's get started. Okay, so the way it came to fruition was Alan. Alan came up to me. He's like, "Hey, do you think we can do Barber this year?" Which I really wasn't sure because we were sponsoring so many people already. So I was like, well, the stipulation that I came up with him is I was like, listen, you have to get your own sponsors to take care of most of the expense. So I'll help you guys out if you need it, but if you don't need it, we'll take care of something that, something else. So we didn't know what that was because it was in the beginning stages. It was pretty freaking cool that we were thinking about doing it because I've always wanted to do one, and it turned out that it was going to be wonderful. So what we did, and what I usually do, is we posted on Facebook. We were like, hey, we're going to Barber this year. Let's get to it. And right after that, Jordan Pence contacted me. Is like, hey, dude, do you think I can tag along with you guys? So I talked to Alan, and the only thing we needed to do is we needed to find a way to get down there. So I was like, Jordan, no problem, let's do it. And that's pretty much how it came to. So Alan came up with the idea, and we made it happen. It was so freaking cool. All right, so with transportation, the only thing the riders needed to worry about was get over here. Just get your stuff over here, all your equipment, leathers, helmets, boots, gloves. We would take care of everything. So what I did is I went out, purchased a trailer. I think we drilled the hinges or latches like the night before just to strap the bikes down. And that's it. Like, the rider didn't have to worry about anything. The only thing they needed to worry about was getting their butt to the track. That's it. Book their hotels and do all that stuff. So that was the easy part of it. Okay, so Jordan's bike. So he's probably going to give me some heat for this, but Jordan's bike didn't really look the greatest. So here's what it looked like before we got it. So the deal with Jordan is I told him he could come. The only thing is he would have to ride under our colors. And what I meant by that, our colors is our design, and then with our colors. So what we had for that year R6 was the top was a color and then the bottom was white. And that it looks clean. It looked great. Everybody liked it. And the great thing is we got many, many compliments when we were down there of how great our bikes looked. So that was the only thing is we needed to fix Jordan's bike. So couldn't have it looking like this. Had to have it looking like one of our bikes. So what I told him is I was like, hey, I'll do the paint, I'll do the fairings. The only thing is if you crash, you have to pay for everything. So, and that was the deal. He agreed. He was like, yeah, I understand. And I told him, it's because of sponsorship. You want more sponsors. You want people to recognize. And obviously, if you've seen our motorcycles, you know the quality, and we put lots of work into our motorcycles. So what we did is we stripped Jordan's bike down, took all these plastics off. He had quite a few issues. His frame was scratched, his subframe was scratched. So what we did is we painted everything. We painted the frame, we did all that work, and then this is what we came up with. And it looked absolutely amazing. I mean, like, when he saw it, he was like, holy moly, this is the jam. And obviously it showed when he was riding it, because when your bike looks good, you have great confidence. It just is what it is. When your bike looks like crap, I can promise you it affects you. Alright, so our bikes. So our bikes really were in excellent condition. So what I meant is we went through everything. Like with Jordan's bike, we We resprayed the frame, we resprayed the subframe and the swing arm just to make sure everything looked clean. So obviously engine-wise and electronics and all that stuff that was already done by the rider previously, but we really took our time to make sure everything looked and ran smoothly. So that's what it is. Alan, obviously, he was on our orange bike, which orange will always be our #1 bike. That is the color of MotoBros. But then, of course, riders could choose their colors. So Jordan obviously loves green. He chose green. And then, of course, Corey likes red, so he chose red. But that's it. The other one that was there, which was super awesome, of our novice sponsored rider, which was Hayden Tinsley. He brought his whole bike down for spare parts. Now this is why, as you'll see in later videos, is why I chose the people I chose, is because you need somebody that understands the amount of money going into something and how they need to help sponsor. So if I'm a sponsor, I also want the sponsoree to give back. And Hayden, man, I couldn't thank him enough for that weekend. We had his whole bike there for sponsorship. That was his bike with the yellow plate. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, so the riders. Everybody that follows pretty much knows the riders that we have. So Alan was on our A bike, which was the brand new R6. Orange is always going to be that color because that's our A sponsor. We do as much as we can for that person, and Alan was that one for this year. So he did a great job. And the only thing about Alan is he's a little bit tough on himself, and that sometimes can affect his riding because he's too worried when he could just relax and get going. But he's a hell of a rider, man. He did so much for us throughout the years. It's just absolutely amazing. He's very proactive, which I love it. And he like when we were doing things, I was like, I need to keep updated in what you're doing, and he would send me pictures of workouts and what he's doing and telling me how things are going. So it was very, very nice to have him as a rider. He is somebody that sponsors definitely want as a rider. Absolutely wonderful. Next was Corey Burleson. This dude is self-sufficient. There's not much to tell about him. You don't have to ever worry about him because he either brings everything with him or his family takes care of it with it. So he's very self-sufficient. You don't have to worry about him. And we can just include his son in that because his son, obviously his dad, takes care of him. And if they ever needed anything, we would be there. But they really didn't need anything the whole weekend because they had enough help by themselves. Then Jordan Pence. The great thing about Jordan is he just wanted to beat Alan. So it was absolutely wonderful because Jordan just was trying to push that he wanted to be the A rider for MotoBros, which was absolutely wonderful. And of course, Alan just wanted to put him in his place. So it turned out to be just a great weekend with the riders that we chose. It was absolutely wonderful. Okay, so our pits was pretty cool. The only thing was the wait to get to the pits. That was probably the worst part. But the good thing is they do have assigned locations, so you get your pit area and that's it. You're good to go. It was awesome. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. We had everybody involved. Everybody was helping. Alan's dad was there. Alan's mom was there. Our painter was there, David Hildebrand was there, my brother, me, Hayden Tinsley, his girlfriend. So everybody was there to help, just to try and make sure that the riders pretty much had nothing to do. All they had to concentrate on was riding the bike. So that was a big thing that, I told everybody, I don't want them to do anything. I just want the riders to concentrate on riding and have a good time. So that's pretty much how that went. And we had a good layout. We were right by the start finish. Well, I guess a little bit down from it, but it was absolutely wonderful where our pits was, and it was a great weekend. I really did I had a blast. Okay, so one of the big things for me that I was looking forward to was gridding up the riders. When you grid up the rider and then you have the umbrella girl and your tire warmers and your generator. That for me was one thing that I was looking forward to. So before the weekend started, we talked about whose rider would be whose. So obviously Corey was the last minute. We we didn't know he was going. So what we did with Corey is we were like, either one of us can help him. Obviously, we knew his family was going to be there, but he really is self-sufficient. But for the weekend, Alan, a rider, obviously I take care of Alan, and then Justin was taking care of Jordan. David Hildebrand, he would run between all three just to make sure that if something's needed, we'd get it done. So we did really well there, but the coolest thing was just watching all the riders pit up and then have the wives holding the umbrellas, and just it was like surreal, because you know, you see on MotoGP and you see the TVs and you see the umbrella girls. It was just such a great experience to have all the riders there and just, you know, just pan and just show you guys what it's like. It was it really, I mean, I can't tell you, it was exciting, because I was like, dude, this is like we're on TV, even though we were on TV, which is hilarious. So that was, I really looked forward to that. It was awesome. Okay, so one of the cool things that did happen, we did get protested. Well, not protested, we got torn down, so you had to come in. They tear your bike down to make sure that you're not cheating just before the race. So what they did check for us was they checked the airbox. Obviously, you know, the stacks are different for different years, and you had to have specific years in order to pass. Otherwise, they would disqualify you. But of course, Alan got passed with flying colors, so we really didn't have to worry about that. That was just one of the things that happened during the weekend. Okay, so obviously on track, everything was going according to plan. The riders were doing the times that we started to expect after they did the qualifying, so there was no really big issues there. The only problem is obviously other riders came into play. So the thing that sucked about that is both of our riders crashed out, but here is basically what happened. So for Alan's crash, a rider took out his back wheel. So that's what happened to Alan. You can see here, here's the pictures. It just shows obviously the rider hitting him from the back and then Alan getting tossed in the air. You know, that's not the way to ride a motorcycle, Alan. Jesus. So that's pretty much what happened there. But from my perspective is, you're watching it on the screen in the pits. You see Alan get hit, and then I was just running down there to go make sure Alan was all right. Obviously, you're watching it on TV, so you know the rider gets up, he's fine. But I wanted to help him get off the track, because they were, when he gets on this side of the track, he was right by the pit entrance, so I wanted to make sure he could get down here, because the guy was pushing his bike back, so it wouldn't start. So there was a problem there. But this was where the major one came into play, and this was the one that just tore everything down. We were having the greatest weekend up until this happened, and this was Jordan's crash. So with Jordan's crash, here is everything that Corey, Jordan, and the other riders around told us what happened. So first off, it was on the main straight. The rider that was having an issue stayed on the racing line trying to fix his motorcycle, going, I think, probably 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. I don't understand why that rider, it was probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life, where a rider having an issue stays on the race line, doesn't get off the track. It blows my mind. So basically what I did is I was walking back, from checking up on Alan. I was walking back to the pit area, walking down the pits, and all of a sudden, boom! It wasn't like a gunshot, but it was like a, man, I can't even describe it. But all I saw was everybody running to the end of the straight to see what's going on. And the thing that was terrible is while I was walking and I looked over and I saw the accident. And I literally saw the back of the bike flipping, and I was like, that's green. I was like, that better not be Jordan. And of course, for whatever damn reason, it had to be Jordan. Jesus. So here's what happened. So Corey was in the lead of our three riders. Corey was in the lead, then Jordan, then Alan. But Alan got taken out. So Corey came around on the front straight, and the guy started to have the issue before the front straight. One of the riders started to have an issue before the front straight, because Corey came around and he clipped Corey's brake lever on how slow he was going. So Corey almost got taken out. Then Jordan came around, and now, if you know Barber straight, I need to look up how long it is, but it's pretty damn long. It was after the start finish that Jordan hit him. So the reason why Jordan hit him is this rider, who is an absolute idiot, stayed on the race line while having an issue, all the way from the entrance corner, all the way down, past start finish, all the way down, trying to fix his motorcycle. Now, people say that, hey, he had his hand up, which he did have his hand up for about 2 seconds. So the time that after Corey hit him, where he probably figured, hey, I need to put my hand up, put his hand up, but he put it down before the start finish line. So maybe for 2 or 3 seconds, and then started to fiddle with his electronics or whatever was going on with his motorcycle. So that is what we got from multiple people telling, hey, he did have his hand up at the beginning, but he put his hand down and then stayed on the racing line, which is the dumbest thing ever. The dumbest thing ever. There's no excuse for it. Don't come and ride at a race if you don't know how to ride. Simple. Stayed on the racing line all the way down. Now, for any of you that know how a rider works, or when you check your lap times, when is it? You can answer this question yourself. You check it on the longest straight, and guess what the longest straight is? It is the damn front straightaway at Barber. And that's it. That's why Jordan ran into the back, because he looked down to check his lap timer on the racing line, as every other rider does, and ran into somebody that was going 20 miles an hour at max. I mean, you guys saw the crash. It was absolutely ridiculous. They both messed up their arms, and that's for life. It was ridiculous. And the worst part for me, because I ran over there. What eased my mind just a tad is I ran over there. I looked, and Jordan was still sliding face down. But the minute he stopped, I saw him try get up, and then he fell down. So I was like, oh, thank God he at least tried to get up. But one of the worst parts with me was, while I saw that, I looked back and I saw his wife, and I was like, dude, this is like the worst thing that could ever happen. It was quite terrible, man. But we did do our part. We took care of everything. We broke everything down. We got everything back here, and you guys can see what the crash. It was the craziest crash that I've ever seen, ever. And here is pretty much what Jordan's bike looked like once we got it back to the house. The only thing that was left that was good was possibly the motor. I have no idea, but was the rear shock. That's pretty much it. Everything else was unusable. So totally damaged or bent in some kind of way. So frame cracked, but he did get an expensive rear shock back out of it, so that made it worth it. But that's it. That was our whole weekend. So we really did have a great time. It was wonderful. I had a great time. I know that, but obviously the end of the weekend didn't end obviously how we planned it, but it was really a good time. All the riders performed as they should. They put the effort in. They put a lot of effort in. They shared information. It really was a great time. I really enjoyed it. I wish everybody else could experience it and go and just see and be, even if you don't ride, just go be a part and help another team and just see the atmosphere the way racing's supposed to be. You guys enjoy the day. Thanks for tuning in. You know who this is. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Let's get it going.